You have been walking with a heaviness no one else can see. Not a burden built from stones or iron, but from thoughts quiet, relentless, multiplying in the dark. They cling to you the way a wet cloak clings to a traveler in winter, adding weight with every step, and the world around you doesn't notice. It keeps spinning, demanding, consuming, while you drag a mind that has been carrying far more than it was ever meant to hold. This is the fatigue that doesn't leave bruises, but still leaves marks. This is the exhaustion that doesn't spill blood, but still wounds. In the old world, warriors knew the ache of muscle and bone. Their battles were loud, visible, carved into the earth. But the battles of today are fought in silence. Your enemies are formless overthinking, worry, pressure, noise. Your battlefield is internal, and your armor is thin. A man can swing a sword for hours before his arms fail, but a mind can falter long before a body does. Musashi understood this long before modern men gave it names. He knew that mental fatigue was the deeper threat, the kind that blurs judgment, weakens presence, and cracks the spirit from within. There was a moment in his travels when he discovered this truth. After days of wandering, hungry and weathered, he realized his steps were steady, but his thoughts had grown jagged. His body endured, his mind buckled. That was the day he learned that the first battle a warrior must survive is the one against his own mind, and true survival, does not begin with force. It begins with honesty. A man must admit when he is tired, not as a confession of weakness, but as a recognition of reality. If you lie to yourself, your strength fractures. If you face yourself, your strength returns. Ahead lie the stages of reclaiming clarity. You will not rush them. You will move through them with the slow, deliberate breath of a warrior learning to stand again. What you are carrying is heavy, but it does not own you. There comes a moment when your thoughts no longer move with youth, they move against you. When your mind, once a quiet companion, becomes a battlefield swallowed in mist. You try to advance, but shapes twist in the fog. Doubts appear like hidden enemies. Fears grow larger than their true size. The tired mind becomes a place where nothing holds its shape, and everything feels threatening. This is the storm you know all too well, the one you enter alone, without a shield. A weary mind exaggerates the shadows. It paints dangers where none exist. It whispers that you're falling behind, even when you're moving forward. It shrinks your confidence until even small tasks feel like mountains. And when reality bends under the weight of exhaustion, you begin to question yourself. You begin to mistrust your own perception. A tired mind does not simply wobble, it distorts. Musashi warned about this long ago. Confusion is the enemy's first victory. Without lifting a blade, the world can defeat you by letting your thoughts unravel. Once confusion enters, clarity retreats. Once doubt gains ground, direction disappears. And in this fog, even strong men lose their footing. What makes the storm dangerous is not its loudness, it's the lies it tells. It convinces you that your struggle is permanent, that your failure is certain, that your strength has vanished. But none of this is true. Fatigue is a temporary thief. It steals your clarity, not your destiny. To survive this storm, you don't wait for the mist to clear. You carve clarity out of it. You cut through the fog one thought at a time. You focus on what is real, not what is imagined. You refuse to let the storm define the horizon. Remember this, clarity is not found, it is forged. And every tired warrior must become a sculptor of his own mind. The fog may surround you right now, but you are not lost, not yet, not ever. There is a moment every warrior learns to fear, not the clash of steel, not the cry of an enemy, but the quiet instant when he must lower his blade. Not because he is defeated, but because he is wise. The world teaches men to keep marching, keep pushing, keep grinding, even when the mind is crumbling. And so you feel guilt for resting, as if choosing stillness means abandoning the path. But stopping is not surrender. It is strategy. Ancient swordsmen understood this. In long battles, they would step back, breathe, and observe the field with fresh eyes. They didn't confuse movement with mastery. They knew that forcing the blade without clarity only leads to reckless cuts. Musashi spoke often of deliberate withdrawal, the disciplined retreat that allows a warrior to see the entire battlefield instead of drowning in one corner of it. But today's world punishes pauses. Rest feels forbidden. Men feel shame for needing it. You have been taught that fatigue must be ignored, that silence is wasted time, that exhaustion is simply the price of staying afloat. Yet the truth is simpler and harder. A tired mind cannot aim. It fires in all directions. it hits nothing. Stopping, when done with intention, becomes a form of sharpening. It is the moment where the noise of the world softens enough for you to finally hear yourself again. It is the breath that steadies the hand. It is the stillness that restores accuracy. Intentional stillness is a practice, stepping outside, feeling the ground, breathing as if the air itself were a blade, carving away the chaos. These are not escapes, they are recalibration. Pause with purpose. Your next action becomes precise rather than desperate. A warrior who understands when to stop becomes far more dangerous than one who never slows, because his actions are chosen. His movements are clean. His direction is true. Stillness is not the absence of battle. It is the moment you choose how to win it. There comes a point where survival is not about adding more strength, but about shedding the weight that's crushing it. Imagine a warrior walking through a forest so overgrown that the true path is hidden beneath tangled brush. Every step becomes harder. Every direction becomes uncertain. The way forward is not revealed until the warrior draws his blade and cuts away what does not belong. So it is with your mind. Modern life piles clutter onto you until your mental landscape becomes impassable. Notifications tug at your attention. Expectations accumulate like thorns. Endless small tasks bleed your energy in quiet, merciless drips. You are not exhausted because you are weak. You are exhausted because you're carrying battles that are not yours. You are fighting on too many fronts, against too many ghosts. Musashi spoke of removing the 10,000 things. He believed that clarity emerges not from more effort, but from less noise. A warrior is not defined by what he adds to his life, but by what he is willing to cut away. Discipline is not accumulation, it's reduction. There are 3 kinds of unnecessary weight you carry. Emotional weight, the wounds, the doubts, the stories about yourself that no longer serve you. Digital weight, the constant stream of noise that fractures your focus and steals your presence. Relational weight, the people whose chaos becomes your burden, whose expectations drain your strength more than any enemy could. When you begin cutting away, the world will call you cold. It will say you're distant, but the truth is simpler. You are reclaiming your path. You are choosing a life sharpened by purpose rather than drowned in distraction. You are becoming a man whose mind is no longer cluttered, but carved. Simplicity is not softness, it is precision. A lighter life is not a smaller one, it's a clearer one. And clarity is a warrior's greatest weapon. Imagine a single arrow shot through pitch-black night. It does not waver. It does not question the darkness. It travels in one direction with quiet certainty. This is the power your mind longs to reclaim, the force of single-point focus. A tired mind bleeds energy in all directions. It scatters itself. It tries to hold too much care, too much, anticipate too much. And in that scattering, it weakens. You know this feeling. 10 thoughts tugging at you at once. 10 tasks demanding attention. 10 worries whispering in the corners of your mind. You become stretched thin, not from lack of will, but from lack of direction. Even strong men crumble when their strength is spread too wide. Musashi understood the danger of divided attention. In battle, he followed the principle of one cut, one life. Not 1,000 swings, not frantic movement. One intention carried fully. One action executed with presence. This was his way: clean, decisive, undistracted. Modern minds have forgotten this. You chase perfection instead of execution. You build elaborate plans instead of choosing the next right step. You drown in options instead of committing to a direction. But mastery comes not from complexity, it comes from focus. The art of attention begins with choosing one thing, not everything. Not the entire mountain, just the next stone beneath your feet. You don't need to solve your life, you need to direct it. A man who chooses one clear action gains more ground than the man who juggles 100 intentions and completes none. When your focus narrows, your energy thickens. When your aim settles, your movements sharpen. Focus becomes armor. It shields you from distraction, from overwhelm, from the chaos of a tired mind. It gives your spirit a direction to flow through instead of a void to drown in. Let your mind become the arrow. One aim, one movement, one breath, and the darkness will no longer feel infinite. There is a moment in every man's life when the fire fades, when the warmth disappears, when the night becomes long, heavy, and indifferent. Picture a warrior sitting beside the dying glow of embers, knowing that darkness is coming and there is no shortcut through it. This is the place you find yourself when the mind is tired, alone with the fear that the exhaustion will never end, alone with the suspicion that you've reached your limit. But the night is not your enemy. The fear is . A fatigued mind whispers that you are breaking, that you are sinking, that you will not rise again. It tells you that darkness is permanent. But Musashi taught that in darkness, the blade is sharpened. The night is where the unnecessary burns away, where illusions fall, where a man meets himself without distraction. Your fear does not come from exhaustion, it comes from resisting it. You spend more energy fighting your fatigue than you do facing it. You treat tiredness as failure rather than as a season. But survival demands acceptance, not the passive kind, the warrior kind, the quiet acknowledgement that this is where you are, but not where you end. Endurance is not glamorous. It is slow, heavy, silent, but it is also transformative. When you allow the night to be the night, something inside you shifts. You stop panicking. You stop collapsing inward. You stop believing the storm in your head is the truth. You let the darkness sharpen you instead of swallow you. Resilience is not about feeling strong. It is about standing even when you feel nothing at all. A tired mind is not a broken one. It is a mind preparing to rebuild itself. And when you meet the night without fear, you discover a deeper kind of strength, the kind that does not depend on mood or motivation, but on quiet resolve. You do not endure the night to escape it. You endure it to emerge different. Dawn does not arrive all at once. It comes slowly, gently, almost reluctantly, light creeping across the horizon with the patience of something ancient. This is how clarity returns to a tired mind, not in a burst, not in a revelation, but in quiet stages, as if testing your readiness to receive it. You wake one morning and realize the storm has softened, the fog has thinned, the weight has shifted. You are still tired, but no longer lost. Musashi believed that mastery was born from many small deaths of the self. Moments when the old version of you collapses, so a sharper one can rise. Mental fatigue is one of those deaths. It strips away illusions, breaks false identities, exposes insecurities you once hid. And in that stripping, something inside you learns to rebuild with intention instead of habit. A tired mind, once understood, becomes a disciplined mind. You begin choosing what you carry. You begin seeing through the noise that once overwhelmed you. You begin directing your focus instead of letting it scatter. You begin resting without guilt, focusing without fear, and enduring without collapsing. Look back at your journey. You moved from invisible weight to storm, to stillness, to clarity, to focus, to resilience. This is not motivation. This is metamorphosis. You did not escape the fatigue. You walked through it. You shaped yourself around it. You carved strength out of a place that once felt hollow. Survival is not the art of avoiding exhaustion. It is the art of moving forward, even when your mind begs you to stop. The warrior who walks with a tired mind and still continues that is the one who becomes unbreakable. That the dawn is here now. It may be faint. It may be fragile, but it is real. And so are you. You rise not because the journey is easy. You rise because the man you are becoming refuses to remain in the dark.